motion?
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement with Orbach, Huff, and Henderson LLP's attorney at law for January 18th to June 30th, 2023. And as amended, as part of this motion, I move to include with it direction to the superintendent to transfer all active litigation and transactional matters currently being handled by our current firm to Orbach, Huff, and Henderson.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Dr. Matthews.
Okay, so I'll speak about the firm first of all. Our school district uses a variety of legal firms for legal services in different areas. Orbach, Huff, and Henderson is a respected and competent legal firm that works for school districts and other entities, and their fees for services are competitive. With regard to the second part of the motion, I've never met anyone from the law firm. I look forward to getting to know them. I look forward to seeing what services they can provide for us. I believe that our job is to make sure we legally handle all the matters of the district, and so I would like to meet them and talk about their, what they can offer us. And I do not recommend the second part of this at this point because there's just too much I don't know, and I think it could be putting the district at legal risk. In terms of transition, that could perhaps very much be the eventual outcome. But to start doing that tomorrow, when many projects are going on right now legally, would be dangerous to the district.
Okay, questions? Comments? Will there need to be an amendment for?
I think you
I
proposed
already
it in an amended fashion, so there's no amendment. That's already happened.
Got it.
Okay, in the board packet, it says that a board member requested this law firm. And I'm just curious which board member requested this law firm?
That was Ms. Blades.
Thank you. And then, Mrs. Blades, is there any conflict of interest between you and this law firm? Have you utilized this law firm before?
No?
And how did you come across them?
So when someone was seeing how we were being represented by Todd Robbins and Atkinson, they said that Orbach, Huff, and Henderson represents about 140, I think, to 200 school boards across California. And they said that what is different about them is that they work for the board. As of right now, sometimes it feels that Atkinson works with the district and the superintendent, but they have a lot of freedom, and this firm believes that the board actually is the district. And so you are free to pick up the phone and call them if you have anything with Ed Code, anything at all. And so basically when I asked them a lot of questions, they were able to cite Ed Code, and they represent a lot of school districts also in Los Angeles County as well. They're obviously not as big as Atkinson is, but they are reputable, and they gave a lot of great information. And so due to some of the issues that we've been having with Atkinson, and then also some surrounding issues that Atkinson has just had, probably I would say in the last 2 weeks, I think that making a move to Orbach, Huff, and Henderson would be a great move for the district.
Can you talk about what's happened in the last 2 weeks?
Santa Monica, they just lost a $45 million lawsuit over special ed. There's also been some allegations that's also happened that I'm not going to speak to because I'm not quite sure. But just as the last, it was a hot topic, a lot of these things at the last, at a superintendent's meeting this week or last week. And also, too, if we want to speak to this, we can talk about the lack of due process that was given to us by our previous superintendent and our attorney, Todd Robbins, in dealing with the district attorney. That was a due process violation for the Constitution, of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. And so I don't really, and I'm seeing as well, Atkinson's also been out in Temecula Valley. They represent their district, and suddenly their new board members he's been stating that there's possible Brown Act violations out there as well, when he wasn't even involved in the meeting. And so I just think there's just a lot of issues that are kind of surrounding them. And I think that a new law firm, it's a law firm. They're reputable. And we don't have to, just because we've been with Atkinson since 1985 doesn't mean we have to stay with them forever.
Could you go into more explanation about the due process thing that you said that
Yeah.
Atkinson
So
did?
when you are accused of something, right, you are supposed to be able to answer as to what happened, what your mentality was, what all this stuff was. We had Dr. Elsasser and Todd Robbins talking to the DA's office, and I never gave them any type of authority to speak for me. In fact, I told them both they do not speak for me. And so we were accused of a potential Brown Act violation without ever being interviewed. That is a due process violation, and my attorney sent that over to the DA's office. And so I don't appreciate any attorney who's supposed to be representing our board and our district's best interests if they can't even provide their client with due process. And I also have some other thoughts about how some other matters were handled by Atkinson during this school year and the type of things that happened. And I don't think that that was in the best interest of our district, as we can see the many lawsuits that have piled up because of it. And so I don't have faith in them any longer. I don't know, do you have something else to say?
I think you know my stance on it. I had absolutely no investigation done with my own accusation of a Brown Act violation, so I don't feel comfortable with them as well.
And just so I'm clear on this too, I don't think that Atkinson and Anderson was even asked about either of you.
They were. Todd Robbins told us exactly, and we know that we were never asked, and that the past superintendent and Todd Robbins were the ones talking to them. We were never spoken to.
I mean, in all of my interactions with the firm, they did not say they were asked about you. They were asked about the
But
meetings.
this is when Elsasser was here.
Correct.
And the other issue I had with that is I didn't realize that Dr. Elsasser was brought in by ESS. And if you look on the ESS website, they are underneath the AALRR or Atkinson. They are a part of that law firm. It doesn't matter. There's a conflict of interest when it comes to that. So that's actually a violation for him to be hired through that whole process. So that also kind of banged the bell for me, at least, for Atkinson.
I disagree that's a violation. It seems to me with what we're doing here is we'll be terminating, so it looks like we'll be terminating AALRR based on the interest of the conversation. I think that we have had good representation by AALRR. I think that dropping them without investigating this particular firm and making sure that they can do all of the work that we need them to do, especially in a quick turnaround like this, is irresponsible. I'm going to vote no.
How many, if we were to turn everything over tomorrow, how many cases, I mean, what are we talking about?
I don't have that in front of me. I know that we are working on Title IX cases. I know that we're working on special education cases. I know that, I would say we probably dozens.
Yeah.
So when we asked in December for this, how come the work wasn't done? When we brought this up in December, how come nobody went about this and started this work?
I think that the priority has been on meeting a new law firm that the board, that I did not know whether the board wanted to hire or not. I heard it from one board member. We can, if the board does pass that tonight, and I've already shared this, we'd be happy to meet with the firm and talk about what they can provide for us, up to and including what you just talked about.
So I just want to be clear, the district hasn't done any, due diligence on searching this law firm to make sure they can adequately fill our needs as a district.
This was not our request.
Yeah.
This is, and so we, again, if the board wants this firm to meet with them, that's one, I have no objection to that. But if we want to move to something where it's using the entire, filling all of our legal needs, I want to meet with them and find out what they can and cannot do.
I mean, I looked at the website and they cover
They cover
all of,
everything.
I
We've
mean,
already spoken
everything's
to
there.
them.
Yeah.
The thing that I would be, a little bit hesitant on is the immediate moving of everything to make sure that we don't rock the boat in transition, because I think that's the goal. But I think the potential issues of severing immediately could have some potential issues.
Also, I wanted to point out that this is not to exceed $150,000. And, you know, we get our lovely list of expenditures every week, and you can start adding up how much we spend for attorneys. And I think this would be exhausted if everything was turned over, in like 3 months?
But then we wouldn't be paying the other firm, so I
Yeah,
don't
the
know if
other firms
that's.
let go.
But
we-
if we switch
we're under
everything
this contract.
over, we don't, even this motion is inadequate to cover that. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, but we
Because
could
if-
come back to you and ask for more. We can,
Yeah.
that happens. I mean, and so that's, I'm far more worried about putting the district in a very disadvantaged position and harming the district than I am about coming back to you to request more funds.
So what we could do is you have it down, or staff has it down as facilities.
That's what the law firm, if you read their contract, they list it as facilities.
Right, that's what I'm reading right now. And also, so what if we amend it and say we will approve this agreement, and then also that we would like them to advise our board on legal issues, contracts, etc. And then we'll have a meeting next week and we'll see what they offer, which they offer everything. And then we can start the transition on the February 7th board meeting. We could vote for that after everybody has met, talked, and we're good to go. But I think if we do the facilities as requested or as stated right now, and then we also bring them in for advice for board, for council, for contracts, whatever comes our way from here in the February 7th board meeting. I think that could be appropriate in the interim.
And also, I'd like us to research the due process thing, allegation, because if my memory serves me correctly, they did not contact anyone at the district. They just watched our videotapes. And so they did their full investigation, and if I'm wrong, someone please correct me, without contacting anybody at the district office. So
No, that's incorrect, because myself and Sean both talked, and it was Todd Robbins and it was El Sasser. And they were doing all of the communication for us.
So I just would like some clarification on that.
And just to be clear too, we use several legal firms in the district. I know Special Ed uses other firms too. And so are you talking about eventually moving all work over to this one firm? Okay. I can get more information about that process too. I believe that transition, it would be very difficult in the short term, but I can find that out for you.
And also to know how many other law firms do we have
Sure.
working for us? That,
Sure.
I mean, I'd be curious, because
Sure.
the only agreement that I have a hold of is the AALR.
Yeah.
Okay, so should I amend the motion again and state that we will approve the agreement with Orbach, Huff and Henderson LLP Attorneys at Law, January 18th to June 30th, 2023, and also that they will provide our board with legal services in the areas of contracts, any type of negotiations, things like that. Would that be an
Well,
appropriate
it says
thing
and
to
on
do?
other matters.
Right, on other matters, but I think specifically, if something arises in the next couple days,
Mhm.
do we want to have Todd Robbins, or do we want to have somebody else from
Or maybe
a
all,
different firm?
all future
All future board matters?
board matters.
That would be your choice. I mean, and I can,
All future board matters.
yeah.
And if we have a problem with it, can't we change it later?
You can change, you can always change it.
I mean, that's the beauty of it, is if we do have an issue, we can,
Right. So
I-
what is the motion now?
The motion would be approve the agreement with Orbach, Huff and Henderson LLP Attorneys at Law for January 18th to June 30th, 2023, and also they would deal with all board matters. So it would be the facilities and all board matters.
what do you say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, can we table it till we've had more due diligence by the superintendent and researching
Researching what?
I believe he
the,
told,
the services, you know?
well, that we know that
that they
they
can-
provide all the services, and we know they provide
Right.
board support and facilities, and that was brought forward. So just with the facilities, everybody was fine with that. So we're just adding board support.
Right, and I'm just saying, let's do some due diligence, let's reach out to the law firm, let's make sure that they can, we're a big district, so we have lots
They,
of,
I spoke with them personally, and they can do it.
okay, I'm just saying, let's just do our due diligence and let Dr. Matthews and his staff, Dr. Giordano, you know, do some more research. Because I think it would just be really good to research that and know for sure that they can handle our district size and our scope of projects.
So what are we voting on?
I'm ready to vote on the motion.
I
with
think the motion as I have it is the
facilities
same
and
motion, except says
the
also to
board.
deal with all board matters.
Okay.
That's what you have?
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, that's what we have on, so the amended agenda. We already have a motion
For the second.
and a second. So all those in favor of the amended agenda, say aye.
Agenda item, yeah.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
No,
No.
So we have a, the motion passes 3-2 with a no from our student board member.
I think it's a no vote.